Black preachers who are racist in their hearts. They are not called by God, but they've been called by their mama.
The Jesse Lee Peterson Show is the only program in existence which deals straight up with Black Americans.
So-called civil rights leaders want them angry, dumbed down, and demoralized.
It's not the leaders that Blacks need, but good fathers and mothers.
Welcome to the show. My name is Jesse Lee Peterson, and this is the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate your letters, your phone calls, and your emails. I appreciate the guests that you suggest for the show. Thank you so much for that. I want to introduce myself to people who are tuning in for the very first time. I am founder and president of a nonprofit organization called BOND, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. And our purpose is to rebuild the family by rebuilding the man. We have a home for young men. We bring these guys in, show them how to overcome their anger, find jobs, start businesses, finish school, to go on and live the American dream. We also have an after-school program where we're teaching building character. I started Bond, and I do want to say that we are a religious nonprofit organization. We don't get money from the government. We have never asked for a dime from the government. We're doing it the American way. I started Bond because I realized that most Black Americans, not all, but most Black Americans are suffering not due to racism, but the lack of moral character. Most Blacks are immoral today. And it's because of the destruction of the families. Fathers and mothers are not in the homes. Well, fathers are not there for the most part. The brainwashing, dumbing down, and demoralizing of Blacks by the so-called leadership, the Black leadership. The NAACP, Jesse Jackson, Louis Farrakhan, Al Sharpton, and most of the Black preachers who are not called by God, but by their mama. Most of these Black preachers are not called by God. And they're using Black folks for their own personal gain. Our battle is spiritual. It is a warfare between good and evil. Not Blacks against whites or whites against Blacks, but good versus evil, right versus wrong. I want to give you some examples of that. President Bush, we just had an election. President Bush, George W. Bush, was re-elected. Thank God for that. And primarily because he's a good man, he's a strong man, he has strong faith in God. And I think that President Bush is a good example for all Americans, and especially Black Americans. And that's not to say, I'm not saying that I agree with everything that the president has done. I think that we need to close the borders, for an example. We need to put troops on the borders, on our borders, and close them down, shut them down, and force people to come in the right way, because it's wrong that illegals are allowed to come here, break the law, and then just drain America. That is wrong. During this past election, I noticed that most of the Black preachers, many of them, most of them, supported the Democratic platform, most of the Black preachers. And as a result of that, the Black Americans, the people, support the platform too. The platform, the Democratic platform, the platform is evil, anti-God. Not all Democrats are evil or anti-God, but the platform is. The Democratic platform supports abortion on demand, even up until the 9th month, what you call partial birth abortion. When the baby is coming out of the womb, the mother's womb, they bring the feet out first, then they punch a hole in the baby's head, suck out the brains, kill the baby, and then bring the baby out. The platform supports that. John Kerry voted something like 6 times against a ban on partial birth abortion. John Kerry voted against notifying parents when their young daughters want or about to have abortion. He didn't want the parents notified. President Bush voted to ban, and he passed a law to ban partial birth abortion. John Kerry was against that. President Bush believed that parents should be notified before their young daughters are able to have abortion. John Kerry is against that. Same-sex marriage. The president believed that a marriage is between one man, one woman, and as a result, he wanted to amend the Constitution to ban same-sex marriage. The Democratic platform supports that same-sex marriage. The Democratic platform believes that God should not be mentioned in the schools, or the playgrounds. The platform now, not all Democrats, but the platform is anti-God. Whereas the Republican platform is pro-family, pro-God, strong military. They believe that God should be mentioned in the schools and the playgrounds. The platform is for that. Yet, the black preachers, most of them during this past election, went around the country promoting economics and health care over values and principles, over moral values. They promoted economics and health care. And they believe that that is more important than values and principles. And so you had the people, black Americans, most black Americans going around repeating the same thing, not really looking into what their preachers were telling them. Thank God that most American people decided or realized that moral values are more important than free health care and economics. Because if you lack values, you don't have anything going for yourself. Sadly, I'm sad to report to you that most of the black people voted against President Bush and for John Kerry, and because they don't really care about values within the black community. Examples: abortion. Since early 1973, there has been 14 million abortions performed inside the black woman's womb since the early 70s. Can you imagine that? 14 million black babies have been murdered inside the black woman's womb since the early 70s. And abortion was an idea of Margaret Sanger. She was the founder of Planned Parenthood, and her idea was to wipe out the underclass, and the underclass were black Americans. Every day, 1,540 black babies are aborted inside the black woman's womb. Every day. And yet the black preachers are not upset about it, most of them, and the people are not upset about it, most of them. They don't believe in a strong military. As a matter of fact, most of them don't believe in serving their country. But thank God most Americans do. Other American, normal folks believe in that. And they voted for President Bush based on moral character. And the fact that the president has protected us from our enemies since September 11th, 2001, since the attack upon America. I bring this up because we have an opportunity now to turn this country around, to come back to moral values, to restore America. We are a Judeo-Christian nation, and it's time that we start acting like it. And because President Bush has been re-elected for a second time, we don't have time to sit back and relax. We still have to fight for what is right. Americans, both black and white, owe it to black Americans to tell them the truth about values and what's important in this society. You have to get over this fear of being called a racist if you're white, because you tell black people the truth. We must tell black people the truth, because as men and women of God, we have that responsibility to tell them the truth. They're not getting the truth from their churches. They're not getting the truth from their preachers, and they're not getting it from white Americans. They're not getting it from their black politicians. So we have to tell them the truth. And white people have to tell the truth. It got them, because the truth is going to bring on a change. Black Americans voted for the Democratic Party because they believe that the Democrats would give them something for nothing. They believe that they're going to get affirmative action. They believe that they're going to get reparations. They believe that they're going to get free health care, free housing. And so the material things are more important than the values. And unless we take this opportunity, because the debate is on now about moral values, and unless we take this opportunity that God has given us to deal with these issues, black folks are going to suffer. They're not going to be set free. They will not be set free by their leaders. So men and women of God, both black and white and Hispanics, have to tell blacks the truth. Excuse me. Sinus problem. I'm sorry for the snorting thing. God said that we should seek first the kingdom of God and his right way, and all things shall be added. Seek first the kingdom of God and his right way, and all things will be added unto you. We have to instill this into the hearts and minds of black Americans, that values, seeking first the kingdom of God, are more important, most important. And when you seek those things, God's going to give you. He's going to make a way for you to receive health care and housing and food and all the things. Your need will be met. Your needs will be met. We have to teach that to black Americans because they're not getting it. Everybody and their mama in the black community, not all, but everybody and their mama, out making babies by everybody and their mama. The average black man isn't worth a dime. He's not worth a dime. He depends on a woman to take care of him, the government, or somebody to take care of him. He's not capable of taking care of himself because for the last 40 years or so, the father's been taken out of the home, the government became the daddy of the family, and the corrupt leadership became the head of the people. So we're in a perfect position right now to help black Americans to overcome these issues. Black people are in a position now where they can turn America around for the good. Turn it around for the good. 90% of black Americans supported Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, a lowlife, in that he cheated on his wife. He with a young intern in the White House. He lied to the American people about that. He perjured himself. He was impeached. And yet, black Americans call Bill Clinton their first black president. First black president. They embrace evil over good. You know, so they're in need of spirituality. They go to church every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But they don't know God. They know about him, but they don't know him. 90% of them supported Al Gore, while at the same time, 80% of them, 85% of them say that they believe in God. Well, I'm here to tell you that there is no way at all that you can believe in God and vote for a platform. Hear me out now. I'm not saying also calm down, don't get too angry. Just come, put your coffee down, and just hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying that all Democrats are evil, but I'm saying that the platform is evil, right? And if you believe in God, you cannot support evil because you can't serve two gods. You either love one or hate the other. And I am convinced that black people who are supporting the Democratic platform lack a belief or faith in God. They do not believe in God. Even if they claim that they're children of God, they are a liar and the truth is not in them. The Bible clearly states that if you say you're of the light and you support evil or you lie, the truth is not in you. And so we need, or you sin and the truth is not in you, to get it right. We need to face the reality that within the black community, for the most part, not all blacks, but most of them, I don't see evidence of a belief in God, a new birth, the nature of God. I don't see that. Black on black crime is out of control. Out of control. Black on black crime is out of control. Al Sharpton ran for president, representing the Democratic platform, and black folks supported him. Not all, but many of them supported Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton supports abortion, homosexuality. Al Sharpton is clearly on the side of evil, and yet black Americans supported him. This is wrong. They are wrong, and we need to help them. We need to show them love. Be patient, but tell the truth. Speak up, but don't resent. And if we don't do it, we're all going to suffer for it, because we're in this together. We're in this together. So if we don't stand up to black Americans, when I say we, I mean Christians, men and women who believe in God. If we don't stand up to black Americans, America will suffer. We have a perfect opportunity to do it. God has given us another chance. He gave us President Bush again. Can you imagine that? I woke up the next morning thinking, thank you, God. I couldn't believe it. I was overwhelmed with joy when it was announced that President Bush had been reelected and that most other people in this country voted for him based on values. And then when I discovered, read the polls, and it says that most black Americans supported John Kerry or the Democratic platform, I was saddened but not surprised, because most black people don't think for themselves. I want black Americans to start thinking for themselves. Pull away from the TV. Pull away from your so-called leaders. Pull away from what you've been told by the Democratic parties and start thinking for yourself. You have a right to think for yourself, all right? And when you think for yourself, seek the kingdom of God, you start to see that you've been lied to for 40 years. We need to restore the family within the black community. We need to, fathers and mothers, black fathers, black mothers need to get married before having sex. Get married before having a baby. And then by example, guide your children in the right way to go. That's how things are going to change. We need to either change the public school system within the black communities and around the country, or take the children out of those schools. They're teaching the black boys and girls homosexuality. In the Los Angeles Unified School District, where I'm from, there's a program called Project 10. It's a homosexual program, and it's been in the school system for about 13 years now, I guess, 12, 13, 14 years. And they're convinced the boys and girls that homosexuality is normal. And so the parents are not around to say that's not true, and now it's believed. That's wickedness. That's evil. You have to not love your children to send them off to be brainwashed like that. And this is happening within the black community. It is not uncommon to see black women, not all, who are having babies out of wedlock by different men. You know, they can have 5 babies and each child have a different father, not even the same father. No shame about that at all. We need to change that. You need to get out of these black churches where the preachers are not rebuking and correcting, pointing the way towards salvation. There is a preacher in Los Angeles. He's the pastor of First AME Church, Fame. I think he's retired recently, Reverend Cecil Murray, who allowed Bill Clinton and Governor Gray Davis to come into his church, stand up, and lie to the congregation. Lied to them. They didn't rebuke Bill Clinton. They gave glory to God. And to me, for that to happen, it's a shame before God. How can you allow a person like Bill Clinton or the ex-governor of California, Gray Davis, or Jesse Jackson, those guys, to come and stand in your pulpit and lie to your congregation And instead of rebuking, they lift up holy hands to God. Black Americans, most black people are suffering not due to racism, but sin. They are a sinful people. Their nature is of their father, the devil, and not of God. In the home for young men that we run, 90% of the time, probably more than that, when I talk to these young men, they are not upset because of the white man. They are upset because, unless they're in some university, if they've gone off to college, they've been brainwashed that it's a white man. But coming out of juvenile detention centers and on the streets, they are upset because they haven't had fathers and mothers to guide them. They believe that their fathers didn't love them because they're not around. And lots of time, most of the time, the mothers have turned the boys and girls against the fathers because the mother's mad at the father and they turn them against. So these kids are missing their fathers on the inside. The worst thing that can happen to a child is to hate your father, whether it's male or female, black or white. When you hate your father, you will never, ever, ever, ever know God. You cannot be born again. You cannot know God when you hate your father. So you have to learn to love your fathers. You have to forgive them for their weakness. They know not what they do. And when you can love God, you can find peace. And this is what black Americans need. They need to love their fathers. There is a battle between the black man and the black woman that I think is going to take Jesus Christ to come and restore. The black woman is mad at the black man because he's weak and pathetic. He's not there for her. And he's mad at her. The black man is mad at the black woman because he can't deal with her. He couldn't deal with mama, and he couldn't deal with his girlfriend. And if he happens to get married, he can't deal with his wife. So he ended up bailing out, making babies, and walking away. We got to deal with these things, the lack of character within the black community. It is a disgrace to black Americans who have died, and to Jews who have died, white Americans who have died, so that blacks can be free. It's a disgrace that the values have just been put aside. Dr. Martin Luther King said that one day black Americans will be judged by contents of character and not color. I'm sad to report to you that most blacks are judged by their color because they lack character. 70% of black babies born out of wedlock, 90% of black Americans support the Democratic platform, an evil platform, the platform that goes against God. Black women between the ages of 20 to 30, those who are having babies, 85% of them are having babies out of wedlock. No shame about it. Black on black crime is out of control. Yet you don't hear an outcry from the NAACP. Let me tell you why. The president of the NAACP, Kwasi Mfume, has fathered 5 children out of wedlock by 3 different women. He didn't marry either one of those ladies. So he's not going to deal with the moral issues or the lack thereof within the Democratic Party. The executive director of the Democratic, of the NAACP, Julian Bond, is a racist, hateful, racist American. So or anti-American. He's not going to deal with the social ills of the black community. And so, when you support organizations like that, we have a ban against the NAACP, asking people not to support them. Because when you support the NAACP, you're financing your own destruction, your own downfall. Life will not change until you take control of it. Until black Americans pull away from the group thinking, pull away from the affirmative action mentality, pull away from taking all that they can take from America rather than giving back to them. They'll never be free. They will never, ever, ever be free. We need free thinkers. We need individuals within the black community and not group thinkers. We are Americans. We're not African American. I am 100% American. I don't have an afro. I have an American fro. See? American fro, Amerifro. No drums are beating in my heart. No African drums are beating in my heart. The American guitar is playing in my heart. I think the guitar is the American instrument. The guitar is playing in my heart. I don't want to live in Africa. I want to live here. I was born in this country. This is my country. And when African Americans, so-called African, black Americans say that they are African American, you've been turned away from your country. Everybody and their mama are trying to come here because they realize that this is the greatest country in the world. There's none like it. And yet, black Americans can't see that because they are angry, because they are demoralized, because they hate white folks. You know, people running around saying this is a racist country. I'm going to be talking about that in my next show. I'm going to talk about the black entertainers and how they have gotten fat off America, and yet they're running around trying to call America a racist society. America is not a racist society. This is a good country. And you better open your eyes up, black Americans, before it's too late. And the way you open your eyes, you must forgive. Forgive your fathers and mothers for not being there. Forgive those black folks and the Democratic platform for lying to you and using you. And forgive yourself. And when you forgive, God will forgive you, and then you can see. If you want to be free, you must forgive. I have a website that is going to be popping up right at the end of this program. And I want you to go to our website, our phone number. We need your help. We need your prayers. We need your financial support to help us help others. This is a serious issue. Now's a good time to get it done. We don't get money from the government, so we need your help. All of America, we need all of American support in order to get this job done. So go to my website, do what you can to help us. Let us hear from you. Buy my books, make donations to us. We're a nonprofit organization. God bless you, and God bless America. Welcome to the show. My name is Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Are you sick and tired of whining, American-hating black celebrities? So am I. I am introducing today to you my web campaign, my Blacklist web campaign to expose those spoiled black actors and celebrities who have such a problem with America. And we have a Blacklist campaign website, Blacklist campaign going. We're going to expose these people. I am sick and tired of these folk wimping and whining and calling America a racist society, blaming white folks, while at the same time they're getting fat off the land. Fat off the land. You have white folks, black folks, Hispanic folks, and others supporting these black celebrities. They're making more money than the average white person will ever know. They're getting movies. White folks are buying their music and their movies, and they're driving around America, running around this country, complaining and calling America a racist society. And this is why we started our Blacklist web campaign. And at the end of the program, you're going to see my website addresses, and you can go to the web and read more about it. Who am I referring to? Let me give you examples. I'm referring to Spike Lee, Danny Glover, Whoopi Goldberg, Harry Belafonte, Sean P. Diddy Colmes, and Will Smith, amongst others. Will Smith, amongst others. I want to give you examples, a few examples of the type of hatred and anti-American personalities. It makes me sick, people. And the reason that it makes me sick, because these black celebrities are doing very well, and instead of encouraging other people, and especially young black people, they don't give hope. They bring doubt and fear, a feeling of hopelessness. I want to just read to you a few comments from some of these so-called black celebrities. Will Smith, and Will Smith is a young black actor. He started out making music, rap music, and he has produced movies that have done very well because of white Americans, because of white folks. Will Smith was recently interviewed in a German newspaper and responded to a question about whether 9/11 had changed anything for him. Will Smith responded by saying, when you grow up black in America and you have a completely different view of the world than white Americans. We blacks live with a constant feeling of unease. And whether you are wounded in an attack by a racist cop or in a terrorist attack, I'm sorry, it makes no difference, unquote. Now, this is Will Smith being interviewed by a German newspaper. You know, I'm looking for the words to express what I feel toward Will Smith. First word is that he's a liar. Will Smith is a liar, and he should be ashamed of himself. First of all, to compare American police officers to that of terrorists is wicked in nature. Absolutely wickedness in nature. Black Americans, those who are living a life of unease or a feeling of unease, they are doing it because they're weak, pathetic people. They are angry people. They are insecure people, not because of police officers in this country. It's not due to quote-unquote racist cops in this country. Will Smith is a liar, and as a result of that, he's added to our web Blacklist campaign, and you can read more about him. I want to give you another example of a racist quote-unquote celebrity, and that is Sean P. Diddy Colmes. And Sean P. Diddy Colmes is a black rapper, so-called rapper. He's also if not the founder, one of the founder of what he called the Citizen Change campaign, Get Out to Vote, no, Vote or Die campaign. And he ran around the country during this past election, registering or trying to register every young person he could run into, and especially black young person. And their slogan was Vote or Die. And Sean P. Diddy Colmes claimed that his Citizen Change organization was a nonpartisan organization, right? And they were trying to register everybody, so they're nonpartisan. So he says. And yet, he made a comment that we have to get Bush's A out of office. We have to get Bush's A out of office, while at the same time claiming that his nonprofit organization, Citizen Change, was a bipartisan organization. What a hypocrite, what a liar. I recently discovered that Sean P. Diddy Colmes' interest in politics came shortly after a Democratic billionaire, Ron Burkle, invested $100 million in Sean John. And Sean John is the urban sportswear company founded by Sean P. Diddy Colmes. All right? This guy, Ron Burkle, invested $100 million into Sean P. Diddy Colmes' business. And Ron Burkle, the billionaire, is a backer. He was a backer to elect John Kerry as president, next president of the United States. So Ron Burkle supported John Kerry, Democratic John Kerry, for president. And right after, according to the report that I'm reading here, right after he gave Sean P. Diddy Colmes $100 million for his quote-unquote business, Sean got involved in politics and started this campaign, Citizen Change, in order to get blacks out to vote or register blacks to vote. Now, I wonder, is there any comparison between Ron Burkle, a billionaire, backing John Kerry, and Sean P. Diddy Colmes, all of a sudden becoming interested in politics and trying to get out voters, black voters especially, while at the same time making comments like, we need to get President Bush's out of office. What a hypocrite, what a liar. Now, a lot of black Americans don't know that Ron Burkle, the billionaire who supported John Kerry, invested this $100 million into Sean P. Diddy Colmes' business. Think about that. Absolutely think about that. I want to give you another quick example. Harry Belafonte. You know, I have to admit, growing up, I had a respect, a false respect now, but a respect for Harry Belafonte because, you know, as a kid, he was on TV and movies at a time when it was difficult for black Americans to get on TV or participate in movies. So I thought that was a good thing. Harry Belafonte called Condoleezza Rice and Colin Powell house slaves. House slaves. Now those two black people hold some of the highest position of this land. And rather than encouraging blacks and letting them know that they can do the same thing, he said that they're house slaves. House slaves. Can you imagine? And as a result, Harry Belafonte is added to our Blacklist web campaign. We're exposing these celebrities. On our website, we have these people, pictures up there, along with the anti-American quotes that they're made. I think that people like Whoopi Goldberg and you know, these liberal celebrities, they make me sick. They are evil in nature. They are wicked men and women. They are liars. They don't want black Americans to be encouraged. They want to keep them down. I have one other, and I'm trying to find it here. I have one other quote that I want to give you. And you can go to our website. You got to get the website at the end of this program, but you can go to our website and read more about it. I mentioned Sean P. Diddy Colmes. You know, American voters in this past election heard crap about President Bush that was absolutely not true. For some reason, these black Americans, liberal black Americans, hate President Bush. They hate the man, but they really can't tell you why they hate him. On my radio show, I do a national radio show, daily show. I ask, why do you hate the president so much? They can't tell you. Oh, he went to war in Iraq. Black people were disenfranchised in the last election. All lies. First of all, black folks will not allow white folks to disenfranchise them, all right? Because black people are not afraid of white folks. White folks are afraid of blacks for the most part, but black people are not afraid of white folks. All right, so let's get that straight, first of all. And secondly, this Get Out to Vote or Vote or Die campaign, I interviewed a couple of the representatives from that organization, and they expressed the number of blacks they have registered to vote. And I said to them, why are you bothering to register these people when, first of all, they don't know the issues? Why should they vote when they don't know the issues? And secondly, they're not going to vote. They're not going to go out and vote. You're going to have to pick them up on buses and things and take them to the polls if you want them to vote. And they said, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have buses and cabs and things like that. We're going to go around and pick these people up to vote. And during the campaign, they made statements like, Bush is evil, Bush hate blacks, Bush is going to bring back the draft, and if you vote for Bush, you will die. All lies. You know, this idea of bringing back the draft did not come from President Bush. It came from a black man out of New York by the name of Charles Rangel. Charles Rangel is a black congressman out of New York, and he wanted to reinstate the draft because he said that too many minorities were, entering into the armed forces, and that they wanted to make it possible for more rich whites to men and women to go into the military. But these folks are putting out the idea that it's President Bush's idea, rather than telling them the truth, that it wasn't the idea of a white man, it was an idea of a black man. See what liars and deceivers they are? They don't want black Americans to know the truth. President Bush said in the debates that there will not be a draft. He's not going to reinstate the draft. Yet black people believe that he will, because they have been told by these so-called black celebrities that President Bush will reinstate the draft. This is why we are exposing these so-called black celebrities. We are asking you not to support them. Don't support. If America is a racist society, why do white people support these folks? Why do you go to their movies? Why do you buy their music? They hate you. They think that you're a racist. Why support your enemies? Let these black folks go to the other countries and see how they would do. See if they would survive over there. We're going to continue to add names to our blacklist until these people wake up and realize that they are in the greatest country in the world and that it's wrong to do this. I want to encourage you to get involved in our blacklist campaign. It is time that we stood for truth. The truth will set you free. And for too long, these so-called black celebrities have been allowed to intimidate white Americans to get what they want. And when they get it, they're still not satisfied. So visit our website and take a look at what you can do. Danny Glover, another anti-American, racist, liberal, deceitful person. Danny Glover has made great movies with good actors, white actors and blacks. But he doesn't encourage black America. He doesn't do that. And I want white Americans to know that this type of crap has been going on for the last 40 years or so, behind the scenes. When the cameras are not around, when it's a predominantly black audience, these type of things are being taught to black folk. In addition, we have added filmmaker Spike Lee to our list as well. His latest movie, She Hates Me, it was aimed at smearing Americans' businesses and President Bush. Spike Lee said, and I quote, I'm very nervous about this election because we are going to hell. I'm very nervous about this election, talking about the past election, presidential election, because we are going to hell if George Bush wins. Can you imagine that? Spike Lee has done well, again, in his movies. White folks have supported him. Black folks have supported him. And yet he says that we're going to hell if George Bush wins. George Bush won. George Bush was reelected. Is Spike Lee on his way to hell? Is Spike Lee on his way to hell? I hope so. I absolutely hope so, because he's evil and he should be in hell. Our battle in this country is spiritual. It's a battle between good and evil, right and wrong. Not blacks against whites, not whites against blacks. America is not a racist society. If America was a racist society, Spike Lee wouldn't be Spike Lee. Whoopi Goldberg wouldn't be Whoopi Goldberg. I don't like her anyway. Yes, that's what she is. She's that. And, every time I flip through the TV and I see Whoopi Goldberg, I throw up and then speed along the way. She made me sick. She's a disgrace to America. And, she made some type of sexual, obscene gesture about the president. She has no self-respect. at all. And yet she's supported by white Americans. It's amazing to me. We have to stand up and fight for this country. We have to stand up and fight for young black Americans because they're not getting the example within the black community. This campaign is a serious campaign, and if you support these people by going to their movies, watching their movies, or buying their CDs, buying their music, knowing that they are anti-American, liberal, socialist pigs, then may God have mercy upon your soul. You're paying for your own destruction. Racism is racism. I don't care who it comes from. And these people are racist toward America. And yet they won't leave. They will not leave this country. They stay here, get fat off America, while at the same time degrading America. Our Blacklist campaign is just one of the things that we're doing to educate Americans, and especially black Americans. Some of you may know already, but for the last 5 years, we've had our National Day of Repudiation of Jesse Jackson. And the repudiation of Jesse Jackson is to, we hold a big rally on Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, and we bring in speakers, my organization Bond, we bring in speakers from around the country to expose Jesse Jackson for what he's all about. And I have to tell you, we have had it's been positive. Jackson is losing control of the hearts and minds of many black Americans, and whites have started to stand up to him too. We want to show the contrast between Dr. King's dream and Jesse Jackson's nightmare. Dr. King had a dream that one day black Americans would be judged by a contest of character and not color. Jackson's nightmare is that most black people are judged by their color because they lack character. Dr. King said that one day black Americans would become one nation under God. Jackson's nightmare is that we're more divided today as a race than any other time in history. So we are known at Bond for living what we say. We don't just stand behind the pulpit and preach to people. We get out there and we take action. We are a living example of what we say. We are true Americans. We are Americans. We're not African American. We are Americans, and we're standing up for this great nation. I want to once again encourage you to take a look at our website, and I want everybody to get involved with this. You know, if you hear comments from these so-called black celebrities, let us know about it. You know, send us their quotes, you know, what they said, when they said it, and where they said it. I do want to tell you that the day before election, I did an interview on CNN about Sean P. Diddy Colmes' comment that we should get Bush's A out of office, and about his citizen change, quote-unquote, nonprofit organization, vote or die thing. And I told them that, you know, it's supposed to be nonpartisan. It's not. Because if it was nonpartisan, Sean P. Diddy Colmes would not make this comment, get Bush's A out of office. It shows where he's coming from. And on the day of election, I believe, Sean P. Diddy Colmes apologized for his comment. He apologized for saying that we need to get Bush's A out of office. Now, I don't know if he apologized because President Bush won and he's afraid, or he really meant what he said, you know, about President Bush. But time will tell. You know, I'll see how he speaks in the future. We're going to keep up with Sean P. Diddy Colmes. We're going to expose Sean Colmes and people like him. So he did apologize for it. I don't know if it was sincere or not, all right? But I do want to just say, this is an ad for those who, you may be just tuning in right now, at the bondinfo.org, 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 my website. We have a Blacklist campaign going on where we're exposing these so-called black celebrities. And right now on our Blacklist, we have Spike Lee, Danny Glover, Whoopi Goldberg, Harry Belafonte, Sean P. Diddy Colmes, and Will Smith. There are others on there too. The list is too long for me to add here, but we are exposing them. And we're going to continue to expose these liars until Americans wake up, and especially black Americans. It has not been done over the last year. We need to restore the families in the black community. Black Americans need to turn back to God. They need to pray together. They need to stand up for America. They need to become Americans. And they need to also start thinking for themselves, not listen to these so-called black celebrities. These folks are lowlifes. These people are lowlifes. They go for anything. They're liars, and you can't trust them. But the children are believing these folks because they don't have, not all black children, but most, because they don't have parents telling them that these people are wrong. And so they believe that when they hear this stuff. They listen to this music. They watch these movies and they hear this crap, and there's no one at home or in the school to say, you know, Sean P. Diddy Colmes is a liar, Whoopi Goldberg is a liar, and so the kids start to believe it. We have a responsibility to expose them. Go to our website, help support us in this mission. We're not going to give up on it. We started this campaign just before the election because DP was serious about getting the Democratic platform in and keeping the Republican platform out. And I just thought it was sad to see what was happening in our country. And I didn't hear anyone else exposing these people for what they are really about. This is a great nation. This is America. And if you want to succeed in this country, you can. Blacks from Africa are doing it. Most of those black folks who are coming in from Africa, they are doing it in this country. Racism is not holding them back. Most white folks are not racist. They're not getting up in the morning and at the breakfast table trying to figure out how to keep black folks down. Pass me the sugar, honey. They're trying to deal with life, raise their own children, and figure out how to not pay so much taxes, cut back on taxes. In closing, I appreciate you tuning in, and the whole purpose of my programs, all of my shows, is to reveal the lie so that you can see the truth. It is to give Americans hope, and especially black Americans, because they're not getting it within the black community. They're not getting it from Louis Farrakhan. They're not getting it from Al Sharpton. They're not getting it from most of these black preachers. They all think alike. They're getting fat off the land while telling others that America is a hateful society. There is no reason that black folks, especially young black people, there's no reason for them not to succeed in this country. And our mission at Bond is to rebuild the family by rebuilding the man. Encourage black Americans to love their country and not hate their country. To encourage black Americans to judge people based on character and not color, principles instead of color. Stop looking at the color, get to know the person, and make decisions based on that. We are committed to it. It is my purpose in life, and I encourage you to jump on board while we yet have a chance, all right? Go to my website. Do not turn your TV off. The information about Bond is coming up right after I finish speaking here. So write down the website, the phone number, and get involved. Thank you, and God bless. Hi, my name is Jesse Lee Peterson, and I'm founder and president of Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. Our purpose is to rebuild the family by rebuilding the man. We are a nonprofit organization, been around for almost 15 years now. We have a home for young men aged 13 to 25, helping them to overcome anger, find jobs, finish school, start businesses, and we have done it without the help of the government. I also host the Jesse Lee Peterson Show right here on Prime Time Christian Broadcast, God's Learning Channel. And I invite you to tune in, and if you have any questions or information about ideas about the show, give me a call. My information is right there, my website, my phone number. Do not hesitate to give me a call. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your emails, your letters, and your phone call in the past. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
For an audio or video copy of this program, please call or write the address on the screen. Please include the program number when ordering.